Again, I apologize for not getting to this series sooner in this playlist. Actually, I'm going to concentrate a lot more on it now because there's like 40 videos in the Media Composer playlist, and that'll keep people busy for a long time. So I want to concentrate on this. So we're still going to use that fully diminished seventh move that we started with. However, we're going to do something that you should probably learn how to do, especially if you want to study the masterworks like Wagner and whatnot, is to continuously use melodic aspects and motifs and whatnot within continuous modulation. But you must know these things. There's no way around this. Borrowed chords, minor and major keys, chromatic harmony, in key. So again, there's a cheat method. You could use this method to determine the resolutions, which we talked about in the previous videos, so we're not going to cover this now. So again, just a quick reminder. This is like a cheat method of learning the resolutions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my own little melodies. It's simple 1-4-5, 2-2-5 music, 1-4-2-5 music, and basically work it into a situation that uses continuous modulation by taking melodic aspects, whether it's rhythmic or just melodic similarity, and then, so let me play the melody. Simple diatonic 1-4-2-5 music. So what we're going to take is chunks of this melody and work it into a situation where it's continuously modulating. It could be rhythmic, it could be melodic similarity, it doesn't matter. Just like the melody itself within key has a lot of similarities rhythmically and melodically. With melodies, the similarities are what bind them together, not differences, okay? The similarities. So I'm going to take this sequence here I wrote out really quick, and I'm going to fit it in there somehow, okay? Just aspects, like I talked about, rhythmically or melodically similar. This is Wagner's, people like Wagner's approach was like that. He would have entire pieces based off really small motifs. And in fact, if you're like want to be a media composer, for instance, this is a good skill to develop anyways. If you do a lot of through composed music, you could actually base an entire piece off of a few melodic lines. So starting in A major, we have 1, 5, 4, the fully diminished seventh of 1, which is the fully diminished seventh of 1 in C, okay? 1, 5, 1. Fully diminished seventh of 1 in C is the fully diminished seventh 1 in E flat. Now the fully diminished seventh of 5. Now just simply treating that 5 as B flat maybe, and starting the same kind of harmonic sequence. And I chose the first 3 chords intentionally like this because it fits my melody, okay? So this is something you're going to have to decide on your own. And so I might start it out like this. Transition, melodic similarity. Melodic similarity. Okay, so this is my first time through this too. I just wrote out the sequence here of a possible way to get to B flat, but so let me do it again. Again, basing it all off that one melody. Let's keep going, because to the E flat part. So all of it is based off that one melody that was in key and very simple 1-4-2-5 music. So let's go from the E flat to that B flat, and I'll to give a hint at it again in its normal state. And that's a good way to look at it, always giving little hints of your melody. So again, hint at the melody in its original form. Now let's break out. Still hinting at the melody. So these are moves we haven't covered yet. So but I don't want to keep rehashing the same pattern. So these, we'll talk about these kind of moves later. That's very Wagner-esque like that. So for instance, we're going to talk about dominant chords acting like augmented sixth chords, which I use to break out of B flat. So but that's for later videos. You see how much mileage you can get out of just one chord, one fully diminished seventh chord in the resolutions, especially when you start playing in key sometimes and then temporarily being in key and every time you modulate, okay? This is where, and then you start adding the motif kind of melodic aspects to it, continuously repeating melodic aspects, and you got an almost unlimited amount of directions to go just with this one chord. And that's not all the possible chords you can use in chromatic modulation, but I wanted to do one more on this specific chord, and this is where you really need to know what keys you're in temporarily, okay? And you need to know how to use the chromatic harmony within that key. We haven't covered borrowing yet, but that's something you really need to know, because borrowed chords are chromatically altered in key and give you a potential to pivot somewhere else. But those are for later videos. So just practice using your motifs, and with this fully diminished seventh chord, the 8 possible resolutions. Just try to move all over the place using melodically similar or rhythmically similar aspects of your melodies. It's a really, really good skill to develop, regardless of style.